I guess we can watch this, and then I guess that'll be the end of the stream for today. How did the world get so ugly? Don't you love looking at modern buildings and you're like, wow, that's just concrete. That looks so amazing. Or a ugly ass escalator. Unless you have one that's short, what do you have? We can swap. Unless the video is too long. Yes, no. What do we have? What is this? Because we can always check it out tomorrow as well. That's totally an option. I think we'll check this one out tomorrow. Yeah. Can love survive when secrets pile up? Yeah, I think we'll check that one out tomorrow. Weeb shit? Yeah, brother. Oh! It's England! What a fuck. Yeah, our telephone boxes look just as bad. Oh, man, that's a building. That's a trash can. Ooh. Oh, nope. Wait, let me show you the Adelaide Medical Center. This fucking ugly ass bullshit. Ugh. They wanted to make it look fancy modern, but it looks so fucking awful. Every time the train line's right here. So or is it this side? No, I think it's this side. So every time you come into the city, you see this giant fucking whatever this thing is. I hate it. And the cheese grater? Yes, the cheese grater. You're not the first person to say that. The door wedge. Oh god, yep. I will say at a distance, this looks fine. It's just when you get up close to some of these buildings, they look fucking stupid.
I'm by the River Thames in
Don't fall in, you're gonna fucking die.
London. Now, it's a charming place where tourists love to come.
Wait, someone actually unironically wears that hat?
Charming place where
What a fucking unit.
Tourists love to come. But why do they love coming here? Well, you've got views of iconic buildings like the Houses of Parliament.
That is beautiful.
St. Paul's Cathedral. But that's not all. Have a look at this.
Ooh, it's a light.
It's a typical modern lamppost.
It looks fucking stupid.
Do you like it?
Nope.
Well, it does its job. But not much else.
That's true.
But look over here at another lamppost. It does its job.
It's a fish.
And a little bit more. It's details like these that help make this such a charming place to be. But these two lampposts don't just look different. They represent fundamentally different worldviews. If you want to understand any society, don't listen to what it says about itself. Look at what it creates.
We have a couple of places like this in Adelaide as well. We've got a lot of like really, not really old because it's Australia. The country's not that old, but we've got some like, old English style churches here, and they're gorgeous.
London's little lanes are charming now, but 150 years ago in places like this, you'd have had whole families crammed into these tiny rooms without running water. There'd have been open cesspits spilling down the streets, and the stench of sewage boiling in the midday sun would have been unbearable. The whole city stank. It wasn't only horrible to live in, but genuinely dangerous.
The River Thames.
See, at that point, London had a problem. It was the world's biggest city. Its population was growing every year, along with the construction of new factories and mills and dockyards. All those people and all that industry produced a lot of waste. It had to go somewhere.
The river!
Where did it go? Into the Thames. Something had to be done. And it was an engineer called Joseph Bazalgette who stepped in to construct London's
Joseph Basil... What?
new sewer network in the 19th century. Sewers which still carry London's waste today, rushing beneath me at this very moment. And he also constructed this embankment that I'm standing on to replace what was essentially a stinking swamp filled with rubbish and human waste and eels. It's impossible to calculate how many lives he saved, how many millions of lives he improved. And he's commemorated here at a memorial that no one ever stops to look at. When Bazalgette's embankment was completed in 1870, it needed lighting, of course. And so a public competition was held to design the lamps that would line this new promenade. This was the winning design, featuring these peculiar creatures. It's a little much, perhaps.
Yeah, a little.
But what's clear is that the Victorians took great pride in their embankment and thought it needed appropriately grand and dramatic decoration.
Yeah.
See, these lamps were among the...
This is what is lost with, like, modern design and, like, minimalism. Like, the character that you had with this... Like, yes, it's not a practical design. Yes, it's maybe a bit over the top. But it has character.
First public electric lighting in the world. This was a radical, revolutionary new technology. Crowds literally gathered to watch them be lit up for the first time. What the iPhone was in 2007, these lamps were in 1870. But looking at it now, you wouldn't know that. Those lampposts don't look modern to us now. They look quaint and old-fashioned. Why? Because they are decorated. And we don't associate decoration with cutting-edge technology.
Well, again, except the cheese grater. There's a certain kind of decoration, like geometric decoration is what you see with modern design. Like when they want to be fancy, usually you get like geometric patterns rather than like animal carvings and things like that. For some reason, this is considered to be more futuristic.
And that's a major difference between us and the Victorians in the 19th century. They saw no contradiction between startling modernity and time-honored tradition. Just like this building, the legendary Houses of Parliament. It was brand new once, but even then, it had been designed in an old and medieval style of architecture. Every technology becomes obsolete and outdated.
Yep.
But a good aesthetic, even if fashions change, can never become obsolete. It is definitionally timeless. Those lamps on the embankment did their job. And even though more efficient and better methods of lighting have been invented, they remain 150 years later. That's the power of good design. And it applies to lampposts no less than to national parliaments.
Well, it applies to, like, software as well, right? Like, when you look at a desktop like GNOME, for example, it's already starting to feel dated with that minimal design. As companies like Apple come along with their whole, like, liquid arse and what other bullshit like this, and other companies are bringing in that same sort of, like, blur, transparency sort of effect, having this, like, simple, minimal design, when you were chasing that trend, it just feels out of place now. Whereas something with a bit more pizzazz, a bit more style to it, like, that still looks good today. That's a gorgeous clock face. Wow.
And so here, in the Houses of Parliament, everything we've been talking about comes together at last. Except that this is not the Houses of Parliament. It's an old sewage facility, a pumping station built in the 19th century as part of Bazalgette's new sewer system.
This is just a pumping facility?
Strange to think that this is infrastructure, a purely functional building with the sole purpose of managing human waste.
Australia Power Station. Like a modern, like, look, a modern thing is just like Transformers and like, it's nothing to look at, but like this. Sophisticated people work there. They deserve to have fancy places. I guess so.
And yet it has been designed with the same ornamental exuberance as any church or palace. Why? Well, people worked here. And why shouldn't people who work in sewers also have a beautiful place of work? That is how the Victorians thought. But there's more. There was also a sense of pride. A belief that what they'd done here was worthwhile, that it meant something. And the result, over a century later, is that this place, a sewage facility, is now a museum, a tourist destination.
Wow.
If you want to know what any society really believes in, just look at how they design their sewers.
Modern design.
Just a few steps from the old 19th century Victorian pumping station, which has now been decommissioned, is the one built to replace it. It's not bad, I suppose.
It works.
But it was very clearly not built by the same society.
Yeah.
Or at least not by society with the same views about architecture and design.
It's
Will
just
this,
industrial. It's
like
functional.
the original, be turned into a museum? Maybe. In any case, I imagine that it is more functional and that it was more convenient to build and to design.
Cheaper.
Convenient.
Yeah.
Now that's an important word.
Cheaper, convenient, easier.
Look at this air conditioning unit. I think it says more about the modern world than anything else, more than phones or social media. It's a miraculous technology, one that has changed the world and improved billions of lives. Hence, we stick them literally everywhere. But it's ugly. Ugly because it doesn't seem to express any belief in the idea that ordinary things can also be beautiful. But worse than ugly, it's boring. Now, it would certainly be a bit more expensive to make it prettier. Take a little time and care and attention. But these days, it seems that we would rather make more money to make things look pretty. And maybe that's okay. So you can see, I hope, that through something as simple as those lampposts, you can understand the Victorians in their entirety. They didn't have to make it look like that, but they did. Now, you might not think it's beautiful, but I don't think it was supposed to be beautiful. It was just supposed to be pretty, at least interesting, at least not boring. And that, in itself, says an awful lot. Walking around a city, any city, and looking at its buildings and its infrastructure, you're not just looking at objects. You're looking at religions and principles, beliefs and ideas. These buildings, they don't just look different. They represent fundamentally different worldviews, clashing ideas about how we should all think, live, and behave. And those skyscrapers say the same thing as our air conditioning units and sewage plants, that we have become a society of convenience above all else. But there's something else that we haven't mentioned about these lampposts. It would be easy to believe that they were made by artists and that we somehow wouldn't be able to or couldn't afford to make them anymore. But just like our modern lampposts, our air conditioning units, our everything, these were also mass-produced, made in a factory. We could still mass-produce lamps just like...
The Canary Wharf side is rather ugly. I didn't live in the UK. I'll take your word for it. Yeah, I watched the LTT video earlier.
These, if we wanted to. We can make our offices and our warehouses look like Crossnest pumping station. We could make anything we want. That's the ultimate truth, the hardest one to accept.
We just choose not to.
But we don't. We have other priorities. And that's fine. But it's vital we accept that there is another way.
Yeah, this is something I again, pretty fair thing to say. But to like make this idea that it's like better and like there's no value in doing it another way. When if you just go back a couple of years even, like software design back in the early 2010s even was like very different to what we see now.
Modern design tells the truth very loudly, that we are technologically superior and very efficient, but also a little bit boring and unimaginative. And it says that we know...
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Unimaginative. Minimal design is easy. It's like the shift with like modern design is it's away from things people notice, like grand carvings and like, you know, the artistic placement of infrastructure, to things like, oh, well, what is the best shade of white to use? Things like nobody is going to really think about. Like these are like minute, tiny, they're important details, but I don't think like the subtle things should take priority over the things that people are actually going to care about.
No longer believe in the idea of ordinary beauty, or in the idea of a public that deserves ordinary beauty. Museums and galleries are wonderful places where we can come and look at things that people used to make and admire their handiwork. They're not just dead historical artifacts. These are living echoes of different ideas about what the world is and what the world could be. But in the end, you can't live in a museum. Now, why things have changed is a significant question, but that's for another time. For now, what's important is to realize that things...
Considering how far away the camera is, people have either got to think he's on, like, he's got, like, Bluetooth earphones in, or he's just, like, rambling to himself. Because if you're, like, walking down this, you're not going to see the camera on the other side.
clearly have changed.
I was like, is he talking to me?
And that we've learned this
Yeah, she's looking for the camera. She's like, what is this guy doing?
just by looking at all the ordinary objects around us. Now, this isn't about past versus present. It's about learning from the past in order to improve the present. And what the Victorians can teach us is that even ordinary, useful things can also be beautiful.
That was a good video. That was a good video. I like that. It was different from what we normally watch. I like that. I definitely like that. We have some nice looking buildings here. Like most of what we have that looks nice is the older buildings. Like even just modern house design, right? Even just like modern house design is so boring. We have so many places where they just have, you know, flat concrete walls and... Oh, let me show you a modern Australian house. Okay, here's the fucking... Like, it's character, but it's not like... It's kind of just like... It's kind of just like, let's throw shit together kind of character, rather than something that feels like... We're literally gonna end the stream very soon. Fine, I'll play the ad. Let me show you, let's go 50s Australian house. Yeah, okay, here's a good example. Good night, take care. Like, I've got a couple of older examples. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so this is like a modern house. Here are some older ones. Like, do you immediately see what I'm talking about here with the difference? Like, this just kind of feels like this would be a concrete block and they just, like, slapped shit onto it. Whereas this, it feels like the design is a lot more intentional. Here's another example. Same kind of vibe. Obviously different style of house, but same kind of vibe. Let me see. Here is another one. Like, again, it's like, you look at this, you look at this, you look at this, and then, like, this feels like a hotel, right? Like, this doesn't feel like a house. It feels like a fucking Minecraft house, if anything. Just like something you'd see in any Western country. Oh, then there's the cheese grater. Yeah, like, Australian houses aren't, like, crazy unique. But there's just something that feels like it's been lost with, like, modern minimal... Like, everything's flat, right? And this brick, this is just... is not even brick veneer. Like, this brick serves no function on the house. This is not load-bearing at all. It's just kind of there. If that brick was removed, nothing would change. Whereas this feels like a complete product, right? Where if any part of it's removed, it's no longer complete. You know what? That's a good way to put it. This is a complete experience. This kind of feels like a basic block they've just stuck a bunch of stickers on. Right? Like, nothing that's added onto the house serves a function. I don't know. Also, the fact that everything is a right angle. There's also that. And yeah, obviously there's a lot of right angles here as well. But you have the wood paneling. And it's just like... Also, these poles in a lot of houses are round as well. Then you have this... Like, again, everything just... I don't know. Also, the lack of color you really see in modern houses. Like, this is... The picture's not doing a great job. This would be like an off-white. Then you have this green lining the house as well. I don't know. There's lots of things I could say, but... Like, it's hard to put words to it, but we all know it when we see it, right? Like, you look at something modern, you look at something older, and you're like, there's clearly character in one of these, whereas this is, like, mass-produced, corporate, and this would have been mass-produced corporate as well at the time, but there's a different vibe that it gives. This gives, like, a homely vibe. This is, like... Again, it feels like a hotel. It feels like a showroom. Anyway, I'm gonna end it there. I'm gonna get some lunch. Maybe I'll talk about the Fex thing. I'm not sure. I'll have to decide. Yeah. So I'm gonna head out. Oh, tomorrow I might put up my video on how many people are using Wayland, and I'm sure I'm gonna get some fun replies, considering that Mr. Lunduke has decided to try to gaslight people into thinking that nobody is using Wayland